Morning, everybody. It's a new day here at Five Star Garage, and we got the old 78 F-150 in here in the garage today. It is cold and windy outside. I didn't film taking the tractor and pushing the truck in, but it makes it a lot easier when you ain't got a bed on it to pick it up with a chain and a bucket, and I just got it right in here. She's dried off from pressure washing. And let me tell you, looking at it sitting back here behind the barn in the tree row, feller don't have a whole lot of hope for it. But me, knowing the truck a little bit, I had a little hope for it. But once it's clean, check this out. That hood is wasted. So we're gonna be taking that off. It'll be wall art over on the barn, but I didn't pressure wash all the hood, just around the edges of it. Look at all that tree sap and moss growing on it. That's why the truck looks so bad. But somebody years ago had stripped all the paint off of it and left it. And how this thing has not rusted to the ground with bare paint. This is bare paint. It may look like something on camera, on the video, but that's the original striping that was on the truck. And I bet this thing pretty snazzy back in the day, maybe. I don't know. I kind of like stripes, especially the 70s. This one had one here and here, and it looked like it just went to the back of the cab and stopped. But all this is bare, and maybe somebody put a little black on the top, and maybe it saved it even more. But even the gasket around the back window, man, these things usually crack, get drier than a powder maker's ass. But this one here, you got a little gap in the trim there. But man, that back glass is still good. Rubber's still good. Back of the cab's bare. Corners aren't rusted out. They had something screwed in there. I don't know what would have been screwed in there, but that corner does have a little rust right there. The door corners are always rusted out because water holds in there. They have drains, but they get clogged up with leaves and stuff when the junk all goes down in here, and when your seal gets bad and it catches in the bottom of the door. Windshield's got to be replaced. It's really bad. But gasket, man, that thing is still holding in there good. We could probably save that. Take this glass out, try not to cut this, try to push it all out. I don't know if you guys have ever tried replacing the windshield, but I'll show you how I do that in the future. But once you have that glass out, you can come in and the dash pad, I don't remember how bad it is. We'll investigate that. But once you have this glass out, you can paint that strip of metal there between the glass and the dash pad and really tidy that thing up, make it look good. And more of the same on this side. It's stripped bare, and this is probably the first panel they started working on, because it does have a little remnants of primer and a little body filler in here. And it's got the same rust down there. But I think the worst part on the rust is the corner of the doors there and the floorboards. I'll have to get a light to show you, but a lot of times this area here rusts out real bad, and that little area right there rusts out bad. But this one is not. Let's see what else. The cab mounts up front, sometimes they'll rot out pretty bad. These seem pretty solid. Power steering leaks pretty bad. It's just sitting there leaking. It's not hadn't even been started. So we'll probably have to rebuild that steering box. The fuel tank, oh, we may try to save that. No, That's the worst one I've ever seen. But I do have another one that's in a lot better shape. It's usable. We'll take this out eventually. It has some helper springs here. Like I say, I put that rear end in it years back. 350 gear with a track lock, posi track. But I think what I'm going to do is get this hood off and look underneath the engine bay a lot better where light's shining down on it. And I think we're going to try to pull this motor out. And I think the transmission is going to be savable. Trying to pull it in the other day, it would catch and it'd slip, catch, slip. It's still not even showing on the dipstick. The fluid isn't. So, and I don't have any more fluid. I keep forgetting every time I go to town. But I think it's going to be okay. We'll pull the motor out and take the front accessories off of it and save that carburetor. And we'll wrap it up. It could be rebuilt if somebody wanted to rebuild it. But I've probably got 7 of them, 7 or 8 351 Windsors sitting over the barn that all need rebuilt. But I'm not going to put that kind of money in it. I've already got a 302 that's rebuilt. We're going to put it in. The only thing that's going to change is just a little bit of geometry on the front accessories, the exhaust, which I'm changing the whole exhaust because the motor deck height is a little bit shorter on a 302. So it brings your exhaust manifolds in or headers, whatever you use, and your accessories bolt up a little bit different. But that's no big deal. Everything else will be pretty much the same. But I'm gonna get taking this hood off, see if I can't break my back or get tetanus or something. It's pretty bad, but it is light. It's weight reduction with all the rust holes in it. Well, that hood came off about like I expected. 2 bolts came out, and then the other 2 clips broke and came right off after they broke. But now a guy can see in here pretty dang good. And let's look around here and see what we can find. Like I say, this is a 351 Windsor, and I don't believe these 2-wheel drive F-150s ever came with a 351 Windsor. I know they came with a straight 6 300, 302, 351 modified, possibly a 400, I guess. They were usually in a 4-wheel drives, but they also could come with a 460. I think somebody has swapped this one in out of a car. The reason I say that, I see things I normally don't see on F-150s, like some of this emission stuff. Never seen that before. And also, this was a air conditioner truck, and there is no bracketry here for air conditioner stuff, and I don't believe there ever was, because it usually ties in right in here, and this all looks original. So this probably came out of a car or something without AC, but I could be wrong. But I do see signs of factory stuff here, like the positive lead going down to the starter. That's still original factory because it still has the insulation sheeting on it, and the starter is even a Motorcraft starter. I think it's original. These hose clamps, that's original style. This heater hose, that's original Ford. Bottom radiator hose is still original. It's pretty cool. I think somebody swapped this in the 80s probably, and it's been sitting for a long time. But I am not going to try to save this motor. We'll end up having to rebuild it, and I ain't doing that. So I think I'm going to start. I might get underneath there and look around real good on the creeper with a light and just see if I see any other clues of what's going on with this thing. And I'll show you what I see. Alright, we're laying down here underneath the truck doing little inspections. And I believe this is a truck pan. So I'm still on the fence of whether this has been swapped in here, if it's factory or not. But usually the truck pans look like this. And it doesn't give you any room to get the pan out if you ever have to take the pan off to put a rear main seal in it while it's in a truck. Why they do that, I don't know. If you just had a rear sump, it might change things, but your steering linkage is on the back side, so that's probably why they did this. But you see all this goo right here? It's like 1/2 inch thick. That is from oil leak, obviously, but the drain plug is back here. You pull that out and it drains all over this cross member. Why would you put it right here? Put it right there on the front. Boom, it's out. Filtered right there. Change oil. Boom, snap, done. Not going everywhere all over the suspension. Nope. But in today's newer vehicles, it's the same way on all kinds of makes and models. Why don't they make it easier to do stuff? Just normal maintenance. Drain plug right there, boom. Nope, they gotta hide everything. Put it in the worst possible area. So anyway, enough bitching. The kingpins don't look like they've had grease in them since 1978, probably. That side maybe once after it was made, but we'll get into that stuff once we get there on brakes and whatnot. We're going to have to replace everything on here on brakes. Hopefully not all the lines on the front. Back line, you know you're going to have to replace the back lines, but all the hoses, calipers, rotors, master cylinder, and I guarantee that booster is junk. Ranger barking at something. Somebody's here. Who is here? All right, let's stay tuned. Got the radiator out. Look at this. Down in the neck. That's a hickory nut. How does that get in there? I don't know. This motor sat without a radiator in it for many, many years, so they probably got up in the water pump or the thermostat housing and put I almost said pecan, a hickory nut in there, or it could have been in the radiator. Radiator sat in my barn for a long time, but I'm gonna pull all this accessory stuff off while I'm up here. I got everything lubed up, and then I'm gonna take the carb off. We're gonna put it on the shelf. It's actually a pretty good carburetor. I took it apart the other day, and it's really clean inside. Probably need to clean it out again, just to make sure, because I got plans for this carburetor. You'll see the upcoming future use on that video, maybe. We'll see. We'll get some more work done on this. Got a front accessories off, power steering pump, alternator, both the upper and lower pulley, radiator's out. I don't plan on using this alternator because it probably doesn't charge. It's externally regulated. Fords have a voltage regulator there. Sometimes they're up here. But I'm going to put and I've done this with all my trucks except for Uncle Jesse. It still has a factory Ford on there. It still works. But anyway, I put a Chevrolet alternator on there. I don't do the one wire because one wire alternators, you have to excite them. To do that, you have to rev the engine up a little bit to get it to charge. So if you just run a regular alternator, regular style, you just run one extra wire instead of one. You have two, and they work just fine. You do have to modify the top hole here on a Chevrolet is a 3/8 hole and a Ford is 7/16, so you got to drill the hole out on the Chevrolet and get your spacer right. You have to modify that a little bit. And then the bottom bracket, the swinging bracket where you adjust it, you have to modify it slightly, but they work great. Still have to get the bell housing bolts off, the torque converter bolts, starter off. All that's from underneath except for maybe these top two bell housing bolts. Just a couple of little doodads in the motor mounts, and we'll be ready to pull it out. But I'm thinking about taking this valve cover off, and I want to show you guys how much sludge is in this motor. And let me zip that off real quick.
I wanna drive all night, drive all day, counting white lines along the way.
Got everything undone that I think needs to be undone. Exhaust cut off, bell housing bolts out, torque converter bolts, nuts off, starter off. Kick down linkage is unhooked, and all I gotta do is put got that thing out there. Have to put the lifting plate on the intake. Motor mount bolts are out. They were a pain in the butt. They were mismatched hardware. Some of them weren't even ran down all the way. There must have been two different people putting this motor in. One of them was a very strong person that didn't know his strength, and then a petite person that didn't know how to tighten anything down, because bell housing bolts, about half of them were hand tight. Motor mount bolts were hand tight, and torque converter nuts were German tight. And so anyway, I've got some errands to run, and take Ranger for a ride in Uncle Jesse. It's out there running right now. It's probably what you hear in the background. And we'll be back, and depending on what time it is right now, I think it's about 3:30 or 4. I need to go feed him before we go on a ride because he'll die. Anyway, we'll try to pull this when we get back, see how we feel. It may be tomorrow, but I'll let you know. I had got distracted earlier. I had company stop by, not somebody to visit, somebody needing parts for a Ford truck. Imagine that. Old friend of mine. He's been into Fords. He's my dad's age anyway. He's been into Fords. Him and his brother and his sons are all into Fords. He needed a couple springs for his door panels. He's got a 79 F250. Real nice truck. Anyway, we go rummage through my parts. I found what he needed, just give it to him. I don't want any money for that little stuff. He's always helped me, I help him. We got to talking. Told him I was looking for some parts for Harry Tow, and he doesn't have anything like that for an 80s model truck. Anyway, he was driving on it. He's on his way home. He lived just a couple miles down the road, one of his relatives, good old friend of mine, just so happens to have an 80s model truck sitting in his driveway that he bought for a parts truck, and he's getting all the parts he needs off of it. He said, hey, Nathan's got a truck set up here, you ought to holler at him, see if he wants to sell anything off of it. So I get a hold of him. He said, hell, come on by and look at it. He just needed the dog house and a few other things for his 80s model F-150. Anyway, looks like I'm buying the whole truck. So that'll give us some parts for Harry Tow. I need a wiper motor, driver's side door glass, and that'll be the main things, but I may take the whole doors off of it. The doors are pretty decent shape, but they're electric windows, so I know the glass will work in mine, but hell, if we can get electric windows in the tow truck, that'd be nice. But the rest of the truck, I might be able to use some parts off of. It's got a V8 automatic, and we may be able to use something for this deal off that truck, or do a will it run. But that's how I had the things I have. I buy old junk, try to get complete vehicles. I know it's not everybody's got places to store stuff. I don't have a whole lot of places. I do, but I've made a lot of them places work for me. But if you hang on to stuff, don't get rid of everything. You can use it. It may be next week, it may be 5-10 years from now, but if you got it, you got it. You don't have to go buy it. Hey, we're back. We're gonna pull that motor out. I know you're excited, yeah. Everything's unhooked, I believe. We got the motor plate on there, pulling plate. I do see one thing I need to take off. That accelerator linkage. I don't want to hang it up and get it stuck and break it. But I'm going to use my trusty jib hoist chain fall that I put together over 25 years ago, and it has pulled many a motor, axle, transmission, what have you. It's a very handy piece of equipment to have. Let's see if I can get this linkage off real quick. Put that box parts. Just about right. Let me raise this chain up. You guys don't want to listen to that though. Let's see if we can't break some stuff now. Goes the rest of the water. Heck was that?
Drive all night, drive all day. Counting white lines along the way. With that black top leading me down. Carrying me down to town.
Alright, go ahead, spin all the way around. Get where you want to go. There we go. Say hello to my little friend. Alright, we got that dude out there. See, pretty grungy. Cross member got a 1/2 inch of goo on it, dried up. I can even tell that bolt on that motor pedestal is loose. I'd really like to spruce this up a little bit while I got it out. I'll probably pull the truck out and pull it outside, get the pressure washer on it, get it all cleaned up a little bit. I don't know if I'll put a little paint on it or not. Depends on how I feel that day. But that chain hoist is handy. But man, I tell you what, that chain will grab on anything. It'll snap a spark plug off like that. Dipstick tubes, or the dipstick, it'll pull it out of the tube, send it to Jupiter. Hangs on everything, but we don't have to roll it around and store it. You just pull it out of the way. Do wish it was a little longer. I always have to make sure I get the truck over this way a little bit so the hoist will be centering the engine bay. Anyway, enough rambling about dumb stuff. Don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things with engines is taking an old motor like this one. I'm probably going to go get my engine stand, put it on there, drain the oil out of it, and flip it upside down. I am very curious to get inside this, take the oil pan off, and see if anybody's been in it, if it's a factory motor. If you take the oil pan off, you can take a couple bearing caps off, look at the date, see if it's a Ford bearing. It'll give you a date on it if it's original. It may have been rebuilt. It may be already bored out, crank turn, whatever. But I'm always curious about that stuff. I like taking them apart and seeing what's wrong with them, or if anybody's done anything to them. So I think that'll be my next step. You can tell this is a 70s motor, the way that it is. You got your crossover tube for your emissions. Those always rot out just like it is right here, and you get exhaust coming out. These things always hit the firewall, get in the way. So, and you can take them off, cap them holes out, or cap the holes in the head, so you don't have to run that. But that's a smog motor. And take this off, the flywheel, flex plate, whatever you want to call it, because we use that on the other engine. It's the same balancing as the one we're going to put in, and we know the starter works on it. The teeth look really good on it, so that's always good. And yeah, let me go get my engine stand and get this dude set on there. All right, engine stand is in. I went ahead and took that old crusty hood that came off of it. I took it out to the behind the barn with the tractor while I had it out. Let's inspect this oil. See what we got in here. Chunky. We'll let that do its thing. Come on. And now we will take the flex plate off. Preparation to put it on the stand. boring stuff. Boring, boring. Well, more water coming out. Rear main seal leaking like a devil. Alright, let me find my bolts for putting on the stand and whatnot, and I'll get it on there, and then we'll be back and you guys see something interesting, hopefully. Got her flipped over on the stand, and this could be probably one of the most dangerous things in your shop. If you ever buy an engine stand, do not buy the 3-legged jobby. Get a 4-wheel, much safer. It's what I had readily available. I've got a homemade one I've got. It takes a little longer to get set up, finding your hardware. But anyway, this is what we got. You gotta be careful flipping that thing over. It'll fall and it hurts you real bad. So we're gonna get this nasty oil paint off. So I am curious about this engine, and maybe see something cool in it.
I wanna drive all night, drive all day.
Alright, you're gonna see it for the first time just like me. You're probably gonna see my clumsy hands on it. Oh my! Oh yeah, that is nice. That is nice. Where are we gonna sit something? Get in here and look at this with me. You're gonna like it. First thing is the sludge in the bottom of that pan. Wow. And like I said the other day, pickup screen totally clogged. If a guy was going to try and save this, revive it, and keep this motor, I don't think you'd have very good luck with it. I think you'd end up burning this motor up for the mere fact of the sludge getting stuck in the pickup tube. You could save it if you took it out and cleaned everything, new gaskets on it, got the sludge out of the top end. You can save it. Can you just fire it up and start adding snake oils to it? You can try it, but it's all going to go down the bottom of the pan, and you're going to pick it all up in the screen. Yeah, you could flush it, pour some diesel or kerosene down it, and keep flushing it out, but you're never going to get all that out of there. I don't care what you do. You'll end up burning it up. I'm going to pull a couple caps off and see what the bearings tell us. I bet they're going to be bronze or copper colored, and they're going to be original. Let's find out. All right, I got this middle one loose. Let's pull it off. Oh my, it is not bronze, copper, whatever. I'll be dipped. And it does have the arrow on it, so we'll know which way it goes. Let's see if I can get this bearing out of here. We can investigate what it is. Maybe, maybe not. Man, this thing stinks. That will be your thrust bearing on a Ford, the center cap. It's got your side load on the bearing for your keep your crankshaft moving back and forth. Don't want to get it all over me. Come on. she's moving. Come on, you little devil. There. That is a Ford bearing. Oh, okay. Even more interesting. I'm getting old. I can't see, okay? I can't read that little stuff. I get some light. I may even got to get my reader. 7. You see? Over here. Over here. 774. Told you. That is not the original Legion. Interesting. If you guys probably can't see that, but there's a Ford script right there. And the date, 774. I'll be dipped. Sorry, somebody else says that. That's not mine. Well. What's interesting to me is it's not wore out. It's got a scratch in it. It has a scratch in it. Down at the bottom of that bearing. But it is not totally wore out. Over here. There we go. Crankshaft looks good. Real good. I bet we can put the bore scope down in one of the cylinders and see how bad it looks in there. Get this thing cranked back down. Torqued. Alright. We'll throw this pan back on and we'll flip it around and put bore scope down in it and look at it. If you were paying attention to that, it about went back over on me. It doesn't like to spin. I know it's a small block, but it's heavy. Bore scope, where did I put my bore scope? There, I got him. Alright. Come on. Every tool's out of the box. Every tool's out of the box. You guys ever do that? Start a project and every tool you own is out in a matter of half hour. Spark plug socket. There it is. Let's try number 1. Hey Ranger, how you doing, buddy? Mommy let you out? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're not coming out to see me? No. Okay. It's just me and you, Ranger. Alright, enough farting around. Figure out how to use this thing again. Hey, there we go. Welcome. Oh. What a handsome devil, huh? Well, there's Ranger on there too. Yeah. Alright. Let's look in here. Which way do we go? Not that way. Oh, dish pistons. Dished pistons. Smog motor. It's, like I say, this motor was not totally locked up, but it had a hard spot in it, so it's sure is at the top of the cylinder where it's been sitting, had a little rust. Puts a mixture of all sorts of oils in it. Got it worked around, got it freed up. But I bet by looking at this, the guy probably dingle ball on it. Now, let me get you in here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Hang on. No card, I know. Dish pistons, low compression, but the cylinder walls don't appear to be bad. A little bit of stuff there at the top, but I think a guy could probably take it apart and do the dingle ball home. Probably take micrometer and check it and make sure it ain't loose or anything, but guy could probably save that motor. It's gonna take a lot of cleaning, but I couldn't put that oil pan back on with all that sludge in it. I ended up wiping it out, put it back on just loosely. But that might be a good candidate for a garage rebuild one day. You gotta get a little bit more horsepower out of a 351 just with stock parts, especially if you put the right stock heads on it. These heads here are no compression. I've got some flat top pistons, but they're a 30 over piston, so I couldn't use them. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is a guy can have a motor that would run and be decent. Put a few $100 in it. Cheap rebuild kit, different heads, 4-barrel intake or 2-barrel. 2-barrel works too. Anyway, what was I gonna say? You remember, Ranger? What was we gonna say? I think we're gonna wrap this up for this video. I seen what I want to see on this motor. That was the most fun part of my day, was looking to see what this motor was. I love diving into old motors like this. Clean up my mess. I got a mess all over the floor, the water coming out of the motor when I flipped it over. And I think next time you see it, we're going to be doing a little sprucing up here, getting it out and sprucing it up, and bring the new motor in and start getting parts swapped over, get our front accessories figured out, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment, tell me what you want to see, what you want to do, what you want me to do on this thing. I think we figured out a name today. Talking it over with the wife. I think I'm gonna call it Long Bed Fred, or Fred for short. Gotta have some kind of name. I didn't want to force it. It's a long bed. It's old, crusty. You don't hear the name Fred much anymore. A bunch of old guys named Fred. Anyway, thanks for watching. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.